Today we're going to be talking about the holidays here on Nycos, and I'm broadcasting in the tabletop channel because we're going to be doing most of the topics today actually on roleplay again, which is someplace that's very near and dear to my heart. I have more than 49 years of play experience as a storyteller and game master, and I really have developed a world mechanism that includes such things as holidays. And because we are nearing the Christmas holiday here in the United States, um, I also wanted to start in the same time frame. So the holidays that I'm going to talk about are 8 holidays spread over the Nycos year, but starting in this same time of year with the holiday known as Christmas. And Christmas is based on the concept of the item that has driven the story arc for Nycos iteration after iteration, which is an object known as the Dream Prism. And so the Christmas holiday is focused on that. There's a lot of various things that go into it, but the main concept of it is the celebration of the various colors of the spectrum and of light in general, and therefore it culminates with a day known as the Day of Brilliance, which we'll get to in a moment. Is actually also known as New Year's Day, but we'll get to that. The idea here is that the prismatic holiday, or the holiday of Christmas, recognizes the various colors of the order of veils: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet, as well as black, white, and gray. And it also celebrates the concept of how these colors interrelate with each other, all culminating with the Day of Brilliance, which is also known as New Year's Day, where all of the colors are combined into a single brilliant light. So, what is New Year's Day? Well, New Year's Day is a holiday that I run games generally every New Year's Eve, New Year's Eve into New Year's Day, and we play for hours and hours and hours. And generally, these are periods of word plays, puns, and just enjoying laughter together. And so New Year's Day ties into that very well as a culmination of the 2 weeks of Christmas. The next holiday we're going to talk about is it equates fundamentally to what we think of as the New Year's Day, but it actually refers to the beginning of the Nycos uh, iteration, and that is the duodawn. It's the celebration of a twin sunrise when both Helios and Nimbus rise together in the heavens, and it is again culminating after New Year's Day. Duodawn is this day of recognizing the two solar bodies and how they impact the world of Nycos. And there are rituals and such that are involved with that, generally dealing with the rising of the suns on that particular day. The next holiday is further down in the year. It's about mid-year, and it is known as Founders Day, and it's actually a celebration of the enjoined. In the world of Nycos, as you play a character in the world, you are actually interacting as a being that lives in that world, and therefore you are enjoined, or there's an injunction between you and your persona that when you are there, you are playing the persona, and all the actions and decisions are made by you. And the rest of the time, when you're not there and time is passing by, the persona still has to do the things that is required of them for survival. So they have to eat, drink, all that kind of stuff. And therefore, the Founders Day is acknowledgement of the day that this injunction began, where players became actually living beings in the world of Nycos, and the interaction between the living and the persona as a player character and the persona as the NPC kind of merged together in this celebration. It's a way for players to actually interact with their multiple characters that are in different places in the world, can actually interact with each other and such. Creates for some great times of uh, um, crossover episodes where players from one group might go and visit another group and things like that. The next one beyond that is equates to our Halloween, and that's called All Hallows Eve, and it is a reference to a place where mystical things happen in Nycos known as Owl Hollows. And the the night of that is also a night of festivities in this world because it equates to the Halloween period of time, and I generally do a spooky or Halloween adventure to be timed with that. The next is slightly later in the year, uh, approximating our Thanksgiving, but it's the Festival of the Forge, and this has to do with the holiday surrounding the creation of not only actual physical metals and alloys, but also of mystical alloys, where the concept is that magicals, the very material that causes magics to work, are forged into material to make magical items. And the Festival of the Forge is a celebration of new magic items, new interactions with the metals, and of recent years, the reawakening of the technomatons and the arrival of them into the world of Nycos as a player character race. Next is the Doomsday Marathon, and I call it the Doomsday Marathon mainly because it's usually a world-changing event that the players get involved with that requires a much longer period of time to play through. So we generally play it as a longer session, maybe 2 or 3 times a regular session. And back when I was younger, it would be a 24-hour game session where we would literally not sleep, but constantly play, eat, and play some more. And so the Doomsday Marathon continues, and it fundamentally is a place for the players to reminisce about the various monsters that they faced and to conjure up the feelings that they had in those situations, and also to create new memories with new monsters and new interactions that they may not have engaged with before. And then finally, the last holiday of the year, if you will, for the Nycos is the Feast of the Exchange. And this generally is an actual physical event where I invite players and honored guests to my house, and we actually do a kind of a potluck, kind of a meal event where we exchange information about the games, but we also tend to bring books to share or trade with each other that either we have no longer have a use for or whatever, and so we actually physically trade books. Oftentimes it's also associated with characters in the game who have in the story collected items, books, literature that they wish to share with the others, and therefore many times fan fiction will be written about the world of Nycos and be added to the literally the book collection in the world of Nycos. If you want to know more about that, you can check out the book collections over at NycosRPG.info and look up under the book section there, and you can find out more about the writings of Nycos. All right, so this has covered the holidays, and of course, this has to do with the games are the reason for the season, and that's the truth for every season. So getting together and playing role-play games is critical to the world as we know it.